Hey guys, it's Sammy. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to be doing all the books that I've acquired so far in 2020. So this year I tried to really make an effort to buy less books, but it was an exciting year for me. So I graduated college, I started a new job today actually, so I had gifts and stuff from this year that I want to share with you guys, but really I haven't acquired too many books. Let me count. So I've acquired 23 books so far this year. A decent bit of them I've already read either through ebook or audiobook, or I actually already read the physical copy, and I will go through those first and then I'll go into the books that I have yet to read yet. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with a book that I listened to on audiobook, I want to say in 2018 or 2019, and that is Puddin', which is the sequel to Dumplin', which is right back here, and it kind of follows these two girls that come together in unlikely circumstances and they have to work together even though they might not really get along or they seem very different on the outside. Super good. I actually gave this 4.5 stars. I liked it more than Dumplin', so I would highly recommend this. I'd say it's basically a standalone, but if you are interested in reading Dumplin', or you could just watch the movie and then you could read this, but I highly recommend it, and it's so pretty. It's like such a beautiful red and it looks really gorgeous over here on this like little red section of my shelf. Next up in the stack we have The Bride Test by Helen Huang. I originally read it as an e-arc that I got through, I want to say Edelweiss, which is very weird, but I think Edelweiss was doing like a whole like a one day only, everyone gets approved for a book, so I got approved for this and I read it originally, but then I acquired the physical copy, which is gorgeous. I absolutely love it, but I absolutely adore this book. I give it 5 stars. It's definitely one of my favorite books of the year. I feel like I've talked about this book so much recently now. It's like been the last like 2 videos I've talked about it, but kind of like an arranged marriage story. Our main character is living in Vietnam and working in a hotel, and this older lady comes in and was like, hey, I want you to come meet my son and kind of get into an arranged marriage situation because this older woman doesn't think that her son's ever going to find love, yada yada. And she goes to the United States, she meets him, he has autism, and it's just a beautiful romance, and I highly recommend it. Next up, I've definitely talked about this before. This is A Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. I actually already have a copy, as you can see here. But Amazon sent me an extra because I ordered this as a gift for my friend Tati, which I'll link her channel down below because she'll be mentioned again very soon. And they sent me a replacement book when they meant to send it to her. Whatever, I'm keeping it. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is actually my old version because this is a new one because it has all of these awards on it, which I'm just not realizing, so I will put this back here. But I absolutely love this book. Also 5 stars, absolutely fantastic. Written in verse about a young girl growing up in Harlem, and it's an absolute favorite of all time. Next up, to complete my collection, I got Rich People Problems by Kevin Kwan. I also listened to this on audiobook. I wanted to get the final copy. This is the last book in the Crazy Rich Asians series. Crazy Rich Asians series is just this whirlwind of a series about 10 million characters that are just living their craziest lives in Singapore and all across the world, really. Absolutely fantastic. I love the series. This was actually, I'd say, my second favorite in the series. I absolutely adored it. I thought it was a really fantastic conclusion, which I can't say very often. And god, these covers, this is so gorgeous. So I acquired this, and now I'm thinking about it, I think all the books I've mentioned so far have been pretty high ratings. Next up we have Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Hing Wen. Did a whole live show for this. I'll link it up above for you guys. But I also give this 5 stars. Like I've said multiple times, it's a little iffy, but basically this follows our main character Ever, and she goes off to this love boat camp in Taipei, and it's supposed to be just like a summer school, but it turned into kind of like a party and like falling in love and yada yada. It's definitely a coming of age story. It definitely has some problems. I would definitely say if you're looking to pick this up, you should be a little older. I don't know the age demographic of everyone that's watching my channel, but I think this could send some bad messages to people that are younger because some things are kind of brushed under the rug when I don't think maybe that they should have been. I'd still say it's really fun, and it's very Gossip Girl-esque in the fact that it's very crazy, but it's also a little problematic. But like I said, very fun. I really loved it. It's sex positive and it's a good time. It is a good time. But is it quality literature? I don't know. Next up, Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I read this on audiobook I don't even remember when. I think I also gave this 5 stars. I guess I'm like confused. I gave all these books 5 stars, but I really only buy books to own if I listen to them on audiobook, if I absolutely love them. And I absolutely love this book. This is kind of, I don't really know what literary fiction is, but this is probably as close to literary fiction as I've ever read. But basically it just follows these 2 families living in Shaker Heights, Ohio, which is a like cookie cutter town, I'd say. And it's kind of the story of a lot of like, I don't know, like looking into this family's life, and then also the life of the single mother and her daughter. There's a lot of drama interwoven in between it, along with a sort of custody battle of a Chinese baby. Lots of things to be said about this. I absolutely adored the Hulu show. Highly, highly, highly recommend that, even if you don't want to read this, though it is very short and I really loved it. Highly recommend the audiobook as well. Okay, mixing these 2 together, I got the first 2 books in the Every Heart a Doorway series, Every Heart a Doorway, and well, the Wayward Children series, Every Heart a Doorway and Down Among the Sticks and Bones. I feel like I've talked about these books a lot recently too. This is just a story about a school for wayward children, which is children that lived in the real world, like our world, went through doors into other worlds and then shut out of those worlds or left those worlds, and now they're at the school trying to cope and hopefully get back to those worlds someday. And these are the first 2 books in the series. I gave this one 4 stars, this one 4.5 stars, and I've now caught up completely with the series, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it, and I plan on getting the rest of the books in the series very soon. Next up, I think the first book I acquired this year, and honestly I forgot I even got this, and that's A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kemmerer. This is the 2nd book in the Curse So Dark and Lonely series. I really like this series. It's definitely my least favorite books by Bridget Kemmerer, just because I don't really connect much with the I don't know, Beauty and the Beast retelling. And the first book at least is about Harper, who is a girl living in DC. She has cerebral palsy and she gets taken into this fantasy world, Emberfall I believe it's called, and Beauty and the Beast retelling ensues. But this one follows a side character from the first book and is more into their story. And I think the last book in the series is the next book is set to come out in January maybe. So I'm excited for that. I still want to keep continuing on because I love supporting Bridget Kemmerer. And like I said, these are so pretty too, and I'm glad I own them. And then for the last book that I've already read, I just finished this. This is the last book that I finished, and that is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, my friend Tati, which I've already mentioned her before, and I'll link her down below. She's an awesome person. I love her so much. I'll link down her channel. You guys should check her out. But she sent me this for graduating college, which was so sweet of her, and I read it and I absolutely adored it. 5 stars. Definitely going to have to fight it out to the death for with the bride test right now for my top spot of my favorite book of 2020 so far. I absolutely adored it. It's just a story of the best man and the maid of honor at this wedding, and they absolutely despise each other, but then everyone at the wedding gets really sick and they have to go on the honeymoon together. Super ridiculous, but we stan it, we love it, and it's just a romance. It's just a romance, but it's really great and I absolutely adored it. And I know this isn't a wrap up, but I hauled it, so we're going to talk about it a little bit. Sorry. Okay, so now we're moving into books I've acquired. I'm going to try to split these up by when I got them, so let's try that. So starting off with the first book I haven't read that I acquired this year, Ghostwood Song by Erica Waters, which I'm currently reading now because it does come out in about a week or 2 I think, and honestly I've just gotten into it, so I didn't want to read too much into it before I read it, but I'll read the back for you. Shady Grove inherited her father's ability to call ghosts from the grave with his fiddle, but she also knows that fiddle's tunes mean nothing but trouble and darkness. When her brother is accused of murder, though, she can't let the dead keep their secrets. In order to clear his name, she's going to have to make these ghosts sing. And from reading the first couple of pages, I think there's going to be sort of a sapphic love story in this. So I'm also pretty excited about that. It has amazing reviews on Goodreads. It has like a really high rating, so that's why I wanted to make sure I read it before it came out. And I also got this. Oh, wait. I have another book that I acquired. How did I totally forgot about it. Where is it at? I'm not very smart. I also acquired How the Light Gets In by Katie Upperman. I absolutely love this book. 5 stars. It is a story of this girl who travels back to this beach town after her sister has passed away, and she's helping her aunt renovate this house. And it's a story about sisterhood and family and coming of age and ghosts, and it's absolutely beautiful, haunting. 5 stars. Absolutely love this book. But when I ordered this from my local bookstore, it came with an ARC, so that was really exciting, and I'm really excited to read this. I can't believe I forgot about that. That is quite annoying. Another book that was sent to me by a lovely friend, hello Taylor if you're watching this, she sent me Life and Death by Stephanie Meyer, which if you're unfamiliar, this is a gender-bent Twilight retelling. So it's basically the same story, except with a twist ending, but in the story, Bella is a guy and the vampire is a girl, if I'm remembering correctly. I figured it should be interesting, and I'm curious about what the twist ending is going to be. Even though I feel like this book is probably not going to be super great, you know, you win some, you lose some. Next up, I went to Barnes & Noble and I got some new books because I wanted to support Barnes & Noble because I buy a lot of books from Amazon and I try to support local if I can, but then also Barnes & Noble because, I mean, they need it too. So I picked up some books that I'm really excited about. Tweak You by Emma Lord. Absolutely so excited for this book. I talked about it a little bit in my all the unread books that I own, and also like you can pick my TBR, but this is basically a, I don't know, like, I don't want to say You Got Mail retelling, but I think it technically is about these two rival kids that are, one of them works for a big chain like restaurant, and the other works for like a mom and pop restaurant. They both sell grilled cheeses and they get in this grilled cheese war or something, I don't know, but I'm so excited to read this. It sounds super cute and has really great reviews. I also got Dear Haiti Love Elaine by Mika Moulet and Martha Moulet. Definitely, it's funny thing is this is definitely like a French last name, and I took French for like 6 years and I can't pronounce it, so that's really cute, Sammy. But I'm really excited for this as well. This is written in epistolary, so it has a lot of like emails and like stuff like that, and I think there's also pictures in here. I've definitely seen postcards and such, but I think this is about a girl who gets in trouble at school and her parents send her off to Haiti as sort of a punishment and everything that goes along with that, and I'm very excited. And oh, this book is gorgeous. There's all these books, let's be honest, a lot of the books I got, like, yes, they sounded really great, but they also had really pretty covers, which is also why I got this, which is A Love-Hate Thing by Whitney D. Grandison. Why do I feel like I've never said that, even though I literally did like talked about this book already. This is essentially just a story, a hate to love romance. That's essentially what this is. And the tagline is, when they're stuck under one roof, the house may not be big enough for their hate or their love. So basically, I think it's a story about this girl living in her house and they have to take in this boy because who knows why. But I was super intrigued, right? Super interested. Has awful reviews. So this is what I get for not checking Goodreads before I get a book. But we're gonna give it a chance still. I'm still hesitantly excited because I love hate to love and I love angst and it sounds fun, but it's also really long, so maybe that's why it gets bad reviews, because it don't need to be that long. Next, Amazon was doing a deal. I know, I'm just talking about like I need to support local business and I buy from Amazon. Amazon was doing a deal where you could get two books, buy two books get one free or something like that, and I already actually hauled a couple of the other books I got from that, and I just realized I've already read this one. They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I've already read this. I gave it 5 stars. I really loved it. I listened to it on audiobook back in the day. It's essentially about this world where you live and there's an app that will tell you that today is going to be your last day alive, and will pair you up with other people that are going to die on that day so you can live out your final day together. And this is a story about that. It's heartbreaking. It's really good. I haven't read any of Adam Silvera's other books, but I'm really impressed by this and I need to pick up more from him in the future. But yeah, I really love this, and I should have talked about it before, but you know. Anyway, yeah, that makes sense because I knew I only got one new book from that, because I was like, you can buy some books off Amazon, Sammy, but you have to buy mostly books you've already read. So you don't add more books to your TBR. It's clearly already a problem. Okay, the one book I got that I haven't read yet, American Royals by Catherine McGee. This is a book about basically if there was royalty in the United States. I'm just a hoe for royalty books, and it's not even that like the whole idea of them being in the United States, just like the idea of royalty. Like if this was took place in Britain or wherever the hell, UK, I would have wanted this book too. So, you know, I'm really excited. I originally thought this was adult, but I think it is YA, and it just follows a bunch of people in this family or people around this family. So it follows an heir, the spare, the schemer, and the commoner. So I have no idea. I'm excited. I think this has relatively good reviews too, and the next book is coming out fairly soon, so I'm super excited for that. And then this last haul I have here is 6 books that my grandmother so graciously got me for graduation, and this is definitely, obviously these are the ones I've gotten the most recently, which is why I was waiting to make this video, but they're also the ones I'm so excited for. So starting off, we have Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which I've heard such good things about recently from a lot of my friends and then from Twitter. But this is a romance. I don't know anything about it, and I don't typically like to know anything about romances because I feel like romances, they always give out plot points in the description because it's what brings people in. But I know nothing about this book, and that's how I want it to be. So I'll definitely be picking this up probably pretty soon because I'm in such a romance kick, and this I don't know, I don't know how it sounds, but I'm so excited to read it. So yeah, I think actually this is about, like, she has like a list of things that she wants to do. Oh yeah, love wasn't on her to-do list. So moving on a darker note, we have Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. I read Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson back in 2017, and she was dark. I gave her, I gave that book, I think, around 4 stars. I really liked it, but the writing wasn't always there for me. But I've heard this one is better, and I've heard amazing things, and I really love the little snippet that it gives because I really appreciate this book for not giving you a lot about what's happening. This says, "This is a story of how my best friend disappeared, how nobody noticed she was gone except me, and how nobody cared until they found her 1 year later." And I know it's gonna pack a punch. I'm so excited to read it. And this cover, once again, beautiful. Next up, another book getting a lot of hype on BookTube, Beach Read, Emily Henry. Heard a lot of great things. It's technically, I think, about these 2 writers that are they write very different things. I think one of them's literary fiction and the other one's romance, and they decide they're gonna like switch, and she's gonna write literary fiction, he's gonna write a romance, whatever. I've heard it. Okay, so it's very weird. Twitter is very divisive about this. Some people say like, oh, it's so cute, and then I see like a good amount of people that are like, why didn't no one tell me how sad this was kind of dark, like blah blah blah. I'm excited to have my own opinion. Everyone says it's very good regardless, but I'm excited to read this. And once again, great covers this year, guys. Great. Well, not all these books came out this year, but loving my haul. Next up, so excited, You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. YA contemporary, sapphic, I'm almost sure. And once again, heard absolutely nothing but good things. Coming of age story, teenage. Don't really want to know much more about it because I'm sure it will impress me. My new favorite, most beautiful book I own, With the Fire Set on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. Absolutely, like I said before, love the Podex by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is actually written in regularly, and I'm so excited. I've heard, once again, nothing but good things, and I don't know that much about this one either, but this is the underjacket. So you're just never going to convince me that it's not the most beautiful book. Even if I hate it, which I don't think I will. I won't get rid of it because it's way too pretty to get rid of, so you know. And once again, super pretty book. Don't know much about it other than it's about politics, and that's really all I'm gonna say about it. But you say it first. Katie Cotugno. This is my first Katie Cotugno that I own. Like, you can't tell me this isn't like the prettiest thing like ever, and the undercover is like this baby blue, so pretty. And yeah, I think it's like technically call center romance, like she calls him or he calls her. One of them works for a call center about politics, democracy, voting, something like that, and they strike up a discord. I think they hate each other, but then they maybe like each other. I don't care. I'm so excited to read this. Once again, heard great things, and as you can see, it's gotten a lot darker over the course of this video. It definitely looks like it's gonna rain, so I'm gonna go. But please let me know if you guys have read any of the books that I haven't read, or feel free to talk about any of these books down below. I'm so excited to feel so great even after having a long day at work, and to make more videos for you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye!